Getting you live once again back to Miami-Dade College's Kendall campus, where Hillary Clinton just wrapped up a stump speech speaking to supporters there in Miami. She was flanked by Vice President Al Gore. We dipped in on his speech just a bit. Apparently she did not come back to the podium, so we could not take you there live to dip in on her as promised. But my colleague Michael Williams was there the entire time. He heard Hillary Clinton prior to the 4 o'clock hour speaking, and then Al Gore right after. Michael, what did she have to say?
Good evening, or good afternoon and evening to you. As you look at the throng behind me, that's Hillary Clinton and Al Gore deep into the group behind me, the former vice president with Hillary Clinton. He said at one point to this audience that what was billed as a voter registration drive at Miami-Dade College, I know how important every vote is, referring to the 2000 controversy in the election here in Florida and the hanging chads. That got a laugh, but he said, I'm serious. Every vote counts. The theme here today was about climate change. Hillary Clinton knows she has high unfavorables with millennials. Indeed, a new poll out today suggests her unfavorables with millennials stand at 40%, Donald Trump 60+%. So she's trying to do what she can to encourage them to register come out to vote for her. Climate change is a huge issue for many in the millennial generation, and that was almost the chief focus of all the remarks here. Hillary Clinton said, I'll fight for climate policies that'll make a difference. She said, quoting, Donald Trump is a climate denier that you cannot put in the White House. She made pledges on climate action like the one you're about to hear.
As president, I want us to have 500 million more solar panels installed across America by the end of my first term. And let's generate enough renewable energy to power every home in America within the decade.
Perhaps the most telling statement of all was one I just recorded a few minutes ago, and I'll have it for you tonight at 6 o'clock, from a young lady who said, you know what? She was a young lady with a baby. I just spoke to her. She said, I'm so sick and tired of the mudslinging, and I came in here waffling. She said, I wanted to hear about something besides the back and forth. She said, I at least felt like today I finally did about the issue of climate change. There's a lot of controversy in some quarters about climate change, but for that young woman, she said, I finally felt like Hillary Clinton was speaking to me on an issue instead of the back and forth nastiness with Trump. Interesting, and it's that kind of political dynamic that's going to be very interesting in terms of turnout in November. There's about 69 million millennials in this country right now. They rival baby boomers. But historically, they don't turn out in huge numbers. Hillary Clinton hoping that in places like Miami and across the country, she can tilt that number. Of course, Donald Trump does as well, and I'll be at his rally on Thursday in our community. For now, reporting live from Miami-Dade College in Kendall, Florida, back to you.
Michael, very quickly, were you surprised that she stuck solely to climate change? As you mentioned, there is quite the battle for suburban moms at the moment, and the conservative vote with all that's going on and the divisiveness within the Republican Party. So were you surprised that there wasn't more widespread fodder and that climate change seemed to be the sole focus?
Well, no, I wasn't. They had billed it as a registration drive with the chief focus on climate change. And that was a very clear strategy. It was not an exclusively millennial audience. Excuse me, I've been losing my voice a little bit because of Matthew and post-Matthew. I apologize to you at home. But they had built it at climate change, and they did that strategically. They feel it is a core issue that is impactful and matters and can help drive out the vote among those 18 to 29, 18 to 34. So it was a very targeted effort. There were the comments about Donald Trump, but all the comments about Trump were in relation to his views about climate change or the lack therein. So no, at the end of the day, not surprising. They hope it's a hot button issue that will get young people out to vote.
Fascinating to watch, surely, as both campaigns will weave through our state almost on a daily basis in the next 30 days. Michael Williams, always appreciate your perspective and your interpretation of events like these. He's going to be on the trail following Clinton throughout the state, and then also Donald Trump when he makes a visit here to the Sunshine State later on this week. We'll have all that for you. Our Michael Williams.